week, a Pulling Power exclusive, Citroen's funked up new C2. On the streets with the Hog Club for Harley's centenary bash. And the barely legal Gumball has reached the last leg in their trip of a lifetime. Gumball!
No prizes for guessing that we're in France. In fact, we're on the outskirts of Paris. This is Citroën country, and that's appropriate because we're here for a car that's quintessentially French, quintessentially Parisian. It is a super mini, it is a car about town. It is the Citroën C2. Voila!
Now, beautiful though this setting might be, I'm not sure it's quite the image Citroën had in mind when they designed the C2.
No. The music is all wrong. We're not talking classics. We're not talking classical music. This car is about youth. It's about funkiness. It's about young kids driving it. I don't know what I'm doing in it, but just look at this interior, will you? Lovely blue pastels, translucent effects, and the outside ain't bad either. Look at it, I think it's absolutely brilliant from the outside. I mean, look at that front end, very in your face. Looks more like the new Beetle than the new Beetle does. And there's a lovely consistency flowing right through the side of the car. Only criticism I've got, I'd like to see this waistline follow right through instead of all this. I'm not sure what that is all about. Well, you know, considering it's a small, cheap car, it's got an amazingly wide stance, I think, here at the rear. It just looks right, and how about that for a unique feature? You don't get this on cars costing 10 times the price. And once you're inside, remember this is a four-seater, two in the front, two in the back. You can move these seats forward in such a way that you can get tons of gear in the back, whether it's your decks, your beach gear, your hiking gear or whatever. Amazing, I think, for a car in this price league.
Prices start from just under £7,000 for the 1.1 litre model, going up to nearly 11,000 for the 1.6 VTR. There's also a diesel and a 1.4 petrol version called the Furio. And if you're into your gadgets, well, both the Furio and the VTR come fitted with Citroen's own sensor drive, Tiptronic gearbox thingy, what's it, I don't know.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Well, I'm pleased to say the C2 does have a nice, simple to operate radio, and let's see if we can find something with some more appropriate music than that what we've had already. Oh, no, that's not quite right. No, we're looking for some youth music. Oh, there we go. Red Hot Chili Peppers, that'll do.
Wait, turn that racket down for a minute, will you, and keep that camera steady, that's better. Now, all right, I admit it, I'm an old git and I'm probably much too old for this car, but then it's not really designed with people like me in mind. It's more for my kids. Undoubtedly, though, it'll be us dads and mums who'll end up shelling out for it, so it's important we like it too.
Well, do I like it? Yes, I do. The first thing that hits you when you climb inside is it's much bigger than you think it's going to be, the interior. If I have to give you one tip, it's this. Go for the traditional manual gearbox. Don't fiddle around with this sequential number that I've been playing with here. It's a bit of fun, that's for sure, but you don't need it. Stick with the manual and it'll be less trouble in the long run.
But at the moment, you can only get the manual gearbox if you go for the 1.1 or the diesel version. And that's a shame because the fancy Auto Senso Tiptron transmission, what's it? Well, it just ain't perfect.
Another little tip, whatever you do, get this car in the right colour. It looks terrible in red for some reason. Blue or silver, you're safe.
Well, sensor drive transmission aside, I think the C2 is a fine little car that looks as happy cruising through the streets of London as it does on the open roads of France. It's also very good value for money, with the entry-level model qualifying for Group 1 insurance and the Furio and VTR versions both coming with the insurance thrown in for 12 months at least.
Well, you know, I'd already decided, provisionally at least, that the Mazda RX-8 was my car of the year, but I might just have to change that view because, you know, the Citroën C2, it could just nick it.
When it comes to motorcycles, there are legends and there are super legends. But if you're looking for a bike that defined the attitude of a generation, then look no further than the Harley-Davidson. When you invest in a machine like this, you're not just buying a bike, you're going to a party. And this year, hundreds of thousands of Harley owners across the globe really have got something to celebrate. From its humble beginnings in a tiny wooden shed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the Harley has gone from strength to become the most famous bike on the road. And this year, the company celebrates its 100th birthday. The original Hard Rock Cafe on Park Lane is the obvious venue for a group of Harley fanatics to gather for one of their regular meets.
It's just a good reason for all of us to get together and really to celebrate a 100th anniversary of this piece of iron, if you like. It's like a big family. Everyone who owns a Harley, they become your brother or sister. We go out, we ride together. We can ride together in groups of 4, we can ride together in groups of 500.
Individuality is what owning a Harley is all about, and this particular design has won awards right across the country.
It's a way to express your personality. It was my first commission. It took about 120 hours to do, and basically a friend of mine gave me free rein. I didn't show her till it was finished, and I think she was quite happy with the result.
Everyone's from the 60s. You've got to be from the 60s to afford a Harley. Normally you'll find it's people over 40 that they've had their wives, their house and their children, and now they want something for them. So they buy a Harley, they wear a suit all day, and in the evening they put the leathers on.
Sunshine, wind in your hair, the joys of top-down motoring.
Dream on, because the majority of us end up needing one of these, a saloon car, a car that's practical, has boot space, room for people, something to go to work in, to go shopping in. But if you really do hanker after a bit of glamour, there is an alternative.
How about a convertible? Room for the family, the shopping, and you all get to experience the fresh air treatment. Despite our notorious weather, more soft tops are sold in the UK than anywhere else in Europe, most of them to buyers in the home counties. But why splash out on new wheels when you can enjoy a blast from the past for bargain bucks? Pulling Power asked motoring guru Martin Gurdon to serve up 3 classic ragtops.
Well, OK, so where are the convertibles? You said you'd sort the cars.
Well, I have sorted the cars, but I am a motoring journalist. Where's dinner?
Typical. Typical.
So this is the deal. Some posh nosh with a twist. Martin has chosen a top restaurant and a course to match each convertible. All I have to do is guess the car from the food? Pretentious or what?
So come on, what am I eating?
Well, it's basically spud and aubergine.
Spud and aubergine.
Spud and aubergine, yes.
OK, is there a clue there? Shape? Something of that sort?
I think if you stood on your head...
It's a
you
V.
know, yeah, I think
Okay.
it could be, couldn't it? Stretching the point.
OK, so VW then. And it's convertible, so... OK, let's go for a Golf convertible?
I think you've got there, that's very good.
Wow, your finger on the buzzer, start of a 10.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, soft top, filming.
Raining.
So what's new? Are you up for putting the roof down? Can't drive soft tops with the roof up, can you? Do you know what you look like in that?
I can get it.
So what was the glamour of these then? Why did they hit the spot so much?
This came out in the late 70s, and really there'd been a huge gap in the market. The last affordable four-seater convertible was the Triumph Herald.
Whoa,
Well, I have to say this. Let me get my balls out.
look how splendid.
All right, imagine that this was a regular Golf hatchback.
Okay,
All right, nice and strong.
yeah,
If you chop the top off it, you get this.
nasty.
Can't even open it properly, but it does that.
And that's the rub with any convertible. When you cut off the roof, the car will never be as rigid as one with a tin top.
You can feel a little bit of jiggery-pokery with it, doing that. So the wheels don't touch the ground quite as well sometimes. But this is actually very good.
Enter the next course.
Whoa, look at this. Now, we're not talking effete vegetarianism here, are we? We are talking seriously macho food.
Cowboy boots on,
God,
really.
it smells fantastic, it
Doesn't
really
it?
does.
Good. I mean, if it were a person, it would have a checked shirt and perhaps a bit of an attitude problem down at the old saloon bar.
Okay, American then. So it's
Yeah.
an American convertible. And is
Absolutely.
it going to be a boy's car? Is it something that a boy would aspire to?
Well, I should think a boy aged between about sort of 35 and 45.
Okay,
So a boy with a paunch and
okay.
a Stetson.
Ford Mustang then.
You've got it.
Martin, it doesn't go over the bridge. It doesn't fit over the bridge.
No, well, I don't blame it, really. Oh, this is going to be great. So here comes a roundabout. I've got to pre-plan this. Here we go.
Okay, how long
Off
do
we
you
go.
need? Need a couple of weeks
Turn the
to...
steering wheel.
Do you know what I think, though? Here we are in Marlow. And it's completely the wrong car, isn't it, for Marlow?
Well, it's more Southend, isn't it? I mean that in the nicest possible way to the Mustang, to Marlow, and indeed to Southend.
Is it a practical cab, though? We're looking at practical cabriolets to be used every day. Is this one? Get your boy hat off for a minute.
Well, this one, which the owner is quite straight up, says not immaculate. Oh, it's very clean.
Yeah.
We reckon it's worth about £5 grand.
Yeah, it's not long,
You can
is it?
fix it with an adjustable spanner in the sense of imagination.
If you find this prime cut a little on the large side, what about dessert?
You want a hint, don't you?
Yeah.
All right, now, don't put the pudding there, put it there. It tastes better if you have it there on the table.
It's got to be German. It's got
Yep.
to be German. Does it have a taste? Mmm. And that's sharp. So it's balanced, precise, sharp.
Slightly minimalist.
Okay.
But, reassuringly expensive.
BMW soft top.
A Bavarian pudding.
So why am I left-hand drive here? Why am I left-hand drive?
Well, I mean, this is about the most untypical 3 Series BMW convertible you could get. It's an M-spec one. It's got a rather mad 4-cylinder engine. It's basically a supercar in disguise.
It's still looking good. Over 10 years old.
Well, you probably wouldn't go for this one unless you really loved the mark and you had between, I don't know, 9 and 12 grand to spend. But you can get a nice 323 or 325 for anything between about 2.5, 3 grand to about 6 grand for a really good one.
And a final tip. If you're tempted to go topless, one item you should really check out thoroughly is the hood. Unseen problems here could set you back hundreds.
So what are you going to go for?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that question. I wouldn't go for any of those cars.
Oh,
I
great.
like them all,
Yeah, but...
I think something a bit more rugged. I mean, the ultimate practical ragtop.
Go on.
Land Rover.
No way.
Yeah.
There's no glamour to it. There's no style.
Well, it's inverse glamour.
Well, how much is it going to set you back?
1,000, 1,500 quid.
Cheapskate.
That's me.
What you want is one of these. Now, this is the ultimate in soft-top motoring. It's soft-top Rolls-Royce. Bit more expensive, I agree. £25,000.
But you can't hose down the interior.
Would I want to?
Well, it depends. With this, you would. And look at the matching accessories you can get.
You are a sad person, Martin.
That's right.
Coming up, they're having a party. It's the Gumballers' last leg on their trip of a lifetime. Right now, there are about 4,000 speed cameras operating in the UK, staring at you, issuing millions of fines and endorsements. They don't get tired, they don't sleep, they just watch. And they wait for people like Leroy Anderson. Leroy is on the verge of becoming one of London's hottest recording artists, but he's not living the champagne lifestyle of a megastar just yet. By day, he's a driver for a courier service in central London, and in this job, what's top of his priority list? Speed. So how does he keep a clean licence?
My car isn't fast enough. No, I'm careful. I'm not a speed. I know London pretty well. If I need to get somewhere quick, I use the back roads, and I can get from A to B quicker than most people can.
And to help people like Leroy in his work, dashboard accessories are legally available to spot the camera before the driver does. And as he approaches, the device bleeps, alerting him to the Gatso a quarter of a mile away. Our driver Leroy was dispatched 3 of the latest GPS radars on the market to find out if they work. First up is the Black Spot Road Angel.
Danger, danger. Wow, that was good. That gave me a lot of pre-warning. It started to glow, and I was able to slow down in enough time safely. That was cool.
Next, the Morpheus Geodesy Plus.
It doesn't look as impressive. It's just a set of lights by the look of it. Okay, starting to activate, starting to make some sounds. And it's on full red, and everyone slows down. I thought it was enough warning, but it wasn't loud enough. I think this one's just a bit too subtle for me.
And finally, the newly launched Origin B2.
This one's snazzy, this one looks funky, yeah. Impressed the girls on it, this one. Looks really cool. There we go. As I reached about 60 miles an hour, loud bleeps, voice activation kicks in, telling me that I'm over exceeding the speed limit for this road, and then showing me, indicating now that I'm passing a speed camera, and I've reduced speed and the lights and flashes have stopped, which is great.
So Leroy's top detection rating goes to...
The Origin B2. It looked better, it was smaller, more discreet, and gave you plenty of warning before you saw a camera. And it also tells you how fast you're going. So for me, I think that was the best one, yeah.
New Orleans, and it's the last day of the Gumball Rally. We've still got another 1,000 miles to go before we get to Miami, but we're about to begin the home stretch.
Big wheels keep on turning.
We have made the last day of the Gumball, and we are really, really ready to go. Let's just hope the car takes us there this time. The sun is shining, everything's looking good. We've just had some words with the state trooper who reckons that he's caught at least 50 of our bunch this morning. So it looks as if there's a blitz on the Gumballers, but we're not seeing anybody, and we've got a feeling that they've either been taken away or we'll catch them on the side of the road. We decide to keep the speed down in the hope of passing through Florida unnoticed, but going 70 miles per hour can be a bit too relaxing. As we begin to head south towards Miami, the end is in sight, and I can't help reflecting on what an amazing few days it's been. Well, we've got 150 miles to go, and it's about 10 o'clock at night. It's the last day, and we're sort of on the last leg now. And the essence of the cars, the chemistry of the cars, the sounds of the cars. If you're into cars, there's no better way to enjoy yourself. And as I savour the last few miles of what's been the road trip of a lifetime, the front runners are already at the finish line. It's an anxious wait for the family of Z8 co-pilot Stuart Singer from Southgate. They've been soaking up the sun while he and Michael have been enjoying the ultimate boys' holiday.
Have they let you go? Oh, right, OK. OK, so how long? Oh, that'll only take you 10 minutes, 56 miles.
Meanwhile, finishing in third place is Charles Morgan in the Aero 8.
We're exhausted, actually. You know, we've done an awful long way, but we've done it very safely. We haven't got one speeding ticket, and in fact, I was nearly arrested because I went behind a tree in Alabama. I don't think you're allowed to do that, actually.
In fact, they came agonisingly close to finishing first, but took an unscheduled detour just minutes from the finish line.
Oh, another 20 minutes. Oh, please hurry up. Put your foot down.
The tension is becoming unbearable for the Singer family, but Michael and Stuart aren't taking any chances this close to the finish.
He's got to drive normal speed because everyone's getting pulled. So he's got to drive at 65. He's with people that are being stopped left, right and centre, so he's driving sensibly.
Meanwhile, Gumballers are flooding over the finish line. Ed and Andy from Buckingham in the Lotus Elise didn't suffer any of the problems we had.
It's been really, really good fun. So roll on next year. 2 cars though, this one and something more comfortable.
Where is he?
We thought we were going to make it without a ticket, but we got one about 15 miles out, and that's about it. I mean, lost our watermelons, lost all our money, but it's been fantastic.
Has Kevin turned up? That's what I want to know. Where is he? Nowhere to be told. Okay, burned his tyres again, blown an engine.
A bit harsh that, I think, Michael. I did finally arrive about an hour later.
Yay, at last, we're here, we actually made it.
And we made it ahead of loads of other cars. The Bentley and the F50 weren't seen for another hour.
Really good last day. But we left at midday and what's that take? 13 hours. So, but good, yeah, absolutely exhausted.
So that's it, the end of the Gumball Rally. But there is one thing I've forgotten.
As usual with Gumball, it's time to party.
So, after 6 days, 3,500 miles, 2 sets of tyres and 5 different cars, there's only one question left to answer. Will I be back to do it all again next year? Well, wouldn't you?